The palace stands silent, cameras waiting, hearts holding. But today, the silence breaks. Because the news you thought would come someday, didn't arrive the way anyone expected. And the truth behind this royal announcement? It's far more emotional, far more complicated, far more destiny-shaping than the world was prepared for. The world wakes up to an image, the red and gold seal of the Spanish monarchy pressed onto thick ivory paper. A symbol that has existed for centuries. A symbol that carries the weight of empire, lineage, and expectation. But today, that symbol means something entirely different. It means a new chapter is being written. One not by kings or queens of the past, but by the young woman who is destined to be Spain's future. Princesa Leonor de Borbón Ortiz. The heir. The first queen in centuries. The daughter of King Felipe VI and Queen Letizia. The young royal who grew up under the unforgiving glare of a nation that needed hope, and found it in her. Inside Zarzuela Palace, the tension is almost tangible. Staff walking quietly, advisors whispering, a sense of historical gravity mixing with a deeply personal truth. For days, rumors had circulated. Whispers of meetings, reports of private gatherings, photographers swarming outside the gates. Something was coming, something big, but no one expected this. In the king's private office, Felipe VI stands alone for a long moment before facing the cameras. Not as a monarch, not as a head of state, but as a father about to announce the most intimate, most emotional moment in his daughter's life to millions of people. The door opens, lights hit his face, and with a steady breath, King Felipe begins speaking. My fellow citizens, my beloved Spain, and all who hold our nation in their hearts. Today, I share news of great joy, profound pride, and deep historical meaning. Behind those words lies years of private decisions, silent fears, and hopes carried quietly between father and daughter. Leonor's upbringing had always mirrored the duality that shaped her life, the strict discipline of royalty and the tender warmth of family. Her training began young, her sacrifices began even earlier. Public duty wasn't a concept. It was a destiny. And now, destiny had reached its next chapter. King Felipe explains that after careful reflection, after long conversations between families, after private moments filled with emotion, the Spanish royal house is officially announcing the wedding date of Princess Leonor. The shock ripples instantly, not because Leonor is unworthy of love, not because the nation opposes her happiness, but because Leonor has always been protected, shielded, wrapped tightly in the dignity of her role. Spain has watched her grow, learn, serve, and mature. But love, marriage, a future consort, these questions had lingered unanswered for years. Now, within minutes, they ignite the world. The king continues, his voice equal parts royal steel and paternal emotion. He speaks of Leonor's sense of duty, her courage, her extraordinary dedication to Spain. And then, the announcement shifts from formal protocol to something heartbreakingly human. He shares the moment Leonor came to him and Queen Letizia, holding her decision with trembling hands. Not because she doubted her love, but because she feared the weight it would add to her future crown. Leonor, always the responsible heir, didn't ask for permission as a princess. She asked for understanding as a daughter. And Philippe's voice softens as he recounts that night. A quiet dinner in the private dining room. A confession whispered. The smile that grew in Queen Letizia's eyes. And the silence that wrapped the room as the gravity of the moment settled. It wasn't simply a wedding. It was the birth of a future monarchy. But every love story, especially a royal one, carries shadows. The curiosity rises. Who is the person Leonor chose? What challenges did this decision create behind palace walls? What tensions unfolded between family duty and personal desire? The world wants answers. Spain wants reassurance. And Leonor, she wants her truth. This is where the king's speech becomes layered. Controlled. Carefully worded, yet deeply emotional. He speaks of a person who shares the values of service, respect, loyalty, and dedication. Someone who understands the weight of the crown not as privilege, but responsibility. Someone who has been quietly present in Leonor's private life for longer than anyone imagined. Then, he reveals the wedding date. A date chosen not for extravagance, not for politics, but for symbolism, for tradition, For the story of a monarchy that survived storms, transitions, and reinvention. And when Felipe VI says the words, the world freezes for a moment. The wedding will be held in Madrid, at the Almudena Cathedral. A location tied to Spain's spiritual heart and the royal family's history. The date marks the merging of past and future, duty and love, monarchy and humanity. As the announcement spreads through news networks, social media, and front pages, something powerful happens. Spain doesn't just celebrate, it reflects. Because Leonor is not simply a princess getting married. She is the future queen of a modern nation, the embodiment of a new generation, and the bridge between the monarchy's traditions and its evolution. But with every answered question, new ones are born. How did Leonor choose her partner? What was the queen's reaction behind closed doors? How did Sofia, her younger sister, respond? What challenges lie ahead for the future royal couple? What political, national, and emotional consequences will this union create? Each curiosity loops into another, drawing the audience deeper. The script slows, breathes, allows the viewer to imagine the moment Leonor herself steps into view behind the cameras later that day. Dressed simply, radiant, but overwhelmed, her eyes carrying both the joy of love and the responsibility of history. She thanks the nation, she speaks of loyalty, she speaks of the future she hopes to build. And she speaks of the person she will marry, not with royal formality, but with unmistakable tenderness. And in that moment, the palace feels different. Warmer, more alive. Because royalty is no longer distant. It is human, vulnerable, real. Through the next chapters of this narrative, we dive deeper. Into Leonor's childhood, her training, her moments of doubt, her private fears that marriage would be seen as weakness, distraction, or political risk. And then, the turning point, the moment she realized love doesn't weaken a future queen. It strengthens her. We explore the king's internal conflict, balancing fatherhood with monarchy. The queen's quiet tears when she realized her daughter was stepping into adulthood. The advisors, debates, the tension between tradition and 21st century ideals, the country's expectations, and Leonor's extraordinary grace through it all. We explore the couple's journey. Their challenges, the moments that tested their bond, the responsibilities that will shape their future together. We explore the meaning of this union for Spain, culturally, politically, emotionally. And then, the script builds toward its emotional peak. King Felipe returns, this time not as the announcer, but as a father letting go. He speaks of watching Leonor walk her first steps, watching her take her oath to uphold the Constitution, watching her stand alone at official ceremonies, and now, watching her choose someone to stand beside her for the rest of her life. His final words echo with pride, love, and the weight of history. With this marriage, Leonor begins not only the next chapter of her life, but the next chapter of Spain's future. May she lead with wisdom, serve with honor, and love with courage. The screen fades, but the emotions linger, because this is not just an announcement. It's a legacy beginning, a monarchy transforming, a young woman stepping into destiny, and a nation witnessing the rise of its future queen.